Hello, it's me again, Hanna. One of the things that has drawn me towards atheopaganism is the way that it specifically and enthusiastically celebrates science as a way of connecting with the world. I love science. In its ideal form, it's a practice that can transcend culture and language barriers, deepen our knowledge, and give us a humbling perspective about our place in the universe. In real life, it's more complicated, of course. The way we do science is informed by our moral and cultural frameworks, whether we like it or not. But science is beautiful when guided by good ethics. My scientific background is a little all over the place. I had a hard time narrowing down my interests in college, but eventually I ended up as a hydrologist after studying physics, astronomy, ecology, and evolutionary biology. Hydrologists study water, and it meant that I could combine my interest in physics with an interest in ecosystems, and I could spend time outdoors in the field because I've always been more interested in poke it with a stick and see what happens investigation more than I have working on computer models, which are important and valuable. I just like to get outside. One of the interesting things about focusing on water is that everybody cares about it. We all have a relationship with water. The world is full of subatomic particles and galaxies and food webs, but people who don't specialize in those things don't really spend much time thinking about them. And that is not true of water. If you tell people you are a hydrologist, especially in Arizona, they will open up and share stories. They will ask questions like, how soon will we run out of water? And how's our water doing? We all know water is important, and we don't need to be scientists to have a connection to it. But the science is a very important part of maintaining civilization as we know it. The big practical concerns that hydrology deals with are things like, where is the water? How much of it is there? How clean is it? Where's it going? These have been concerns long before there were hydrologists as such. In ancient Egypt, predicting the time and the amount of annual flooding in the Nile River was a priestly duty. They did this by monitoring the water level along the river using structures called Nilometers, noticing changes and comparing them with past flooding levels by using reference marks. While we do have a lot more fancy tools today, this is still a pretty basic part of surface water hydrology, measuring water levels over time along the reach of a river and then being on alert if they're unusually high or low for a given time of year. Now, in my cultural religious background, which is basically Southern flavored American Protestantism, water is primarily seen as an instrument of cleansing and rebirth. You've got the flood story where God hit the old reset button on everything except Noah and whatever he could cram into his ark. And you've got the ritual of baptism. If water can get rid of the physical grime on our bodies, why wouldn't it get rid of the soul grime as well? It's an ancient ritual, and it does predate Christianity. I don't know how much, but in the Bible, Jesus himself was baptized by John the Baptist, who had that as a practice going for a while. Baptism is how you become born again in evangelical churches. And while I've always felt like I was born okay the first time, I like the idea of a baptism ritual, your connection with the water changing you. Water is an amazing substance in terms of its chemical and physical properties. We don't often marvel at that, but that's because water's such a common part of our life. It's marvelous. A lot of the features that make it so incredible have to do with the fact that a water molecule is slightly polarized. It's neutral overall, but due to some quantum physics that I'm just going to hand wave away, but you should totally check out if you're interested. It has one end with a weak positive electric charge and one end with a weak negative charge. This symmetry means that it can speak the metaphorical language of electricity, one of the fundamental languages of the universe. Water molecules can interact with other charged particles, including each other, and it is this language proficiency that makes water one of our best solvents, a conductor of electric currents, part of the communication system of our cells, and something you can glide on with ice skates under the right conditions. It also means that water is almost never pure. It has stuff in it, always. And some of that stuff, long ago, became alive. And some of that stuff, less long ago, but still farther in time than we can easily imagine, became us, for different values of us. Part of my atheopagan practice is to see science as a ritual of love and honor toward the world. That's the moral and ethical framework that I want to be working under. So when I look at real-time stream flow data from US Geological Survey gauging stations or water quality data from the EPA, I think about the hydrologic technicians doing the same work as priests of ancient Egypt, methodically observing and recording data in order to better understand the water for benefit of their community. When I do a wading stream flow measurement, I think about the idea behind baptism and add another layer to it. When I emerge from the water, I have been changed by the experience, but so has the water. It's a mutual experience. As an atheopagan, baptism is a reciprocal act. Whatever gets washed off of me is now carried by the water. And if I want to be cleansed, I must offer cleansing in return. Now, this is not a scientific idea. It's a framework to shape my scientific thinking, to steer me away from exploitative reductionism, which is also not a scientific idea or value, but it is one that is part of my larger cultural experience. One of the reasons that scientists are leery of mixing religion with science is because we understand how powerful frameworks are, and we try to be objective. But this is impossible. We're not objective. And when we think we are, it causes problems. Even if you get rid of religion, we have all of these cultural bits of baggage that shape the kinds of questions we ask the world. If we were from a hunter-gatherer society instead of an agricultural one, how would our relationship with rivers change? What kind of questions would we be asking then? If I see sacredness as important and as compatible with science, what kind of questions might I see to ask that I can't otherwise? Thank you.